let's talk about some ahas from last week. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the participation. Anybody remember last week and have an aha they want to share?
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Pat Benaman down in Big Pine Key. I just had the most amazing experience. I missed our last class. Yesterday, I was watching the video and did the exercise as we went along. I wanted to share what I got because it blew my mind. This is what I asked. I was in ChatGPT and I said, act as an experienced real estate market and economic trend analyst. That was the role. Create tables comparing month over month, which I revised doing my back 20% to year over year. National median home prices, median days on market, inventory homes for sale, pending sales, closed sales, 30-year average interest rate, CPI monthly index, and unemployment rates as of July 31st, 2025, including the percentage of rate change for that period. Next, write a narrative forecast for the real estate market for the balance of 2025, using the tables to illustrate your points. Incorporate into your discussion the impacts of economic uncertainty from inflation, which is beginning to tick up again, interest rate forecasts, and political instability. The target audience is investors with 0 to 10 doors. Your message to investors, it's a great time to buy. This is for a newsletter targeting investors. It was amazing. It was this flood. First, it created the chart, and then I went, oh, shoot, I meant year over year, changed it. I went, oh, I forgot absorption rate, changed it. It created a narrative with tables, and then it collapsed it into a very boom, boom, boom bullets newsletter and put it on a PDF, and it's ready to go.
That's perfect. So you followed the model. You gave it the context, then you let it do the work, then you refined it. Good job. Perfect. Good example.
And it would do this every month for me.
Yes, you can. Actually, go into that same thing and ask it, now I need you to run this on the 9th day of the month every month. And it will schedule it and it will do it for you automatically. That's beautiful. Good job. Good use case. You could even put that into Canva, take the information, put it into Canva, make it really pretty if you want to. That's one thing that Claude is really good at, is it makes some really great presentations. So to get a chance to play with Claude, they all have some free trials that you can play with and find the one you like the most. I think the best one is for you to put it into Canva and just have your own design around the newsletter, but it's up to you. If you like what you got, use it.
Canva all the time.
Perfect. Does anybody else have any? Thank you very much, Pat, for sharing that. Did anybody else do what Pat did and go back and put some in and have some good experiences? Come on, guys. There's a bunch of you here.
Here I am.
Yes, sir.
I did some research on a commercial building that was very interesting. I went into the deep research when you go on the plus, and I really asked it to, so it came back to me with few questions after I gave the prompt. And then it did all the research. I had asked from the land to the first building on, all the tenants over the life, and the sales and everything that happened to a particular parcel and building. It came back with a super nice file that I can study and be aware of when I speak with the owner,
That's awesome. One of the things in the more advanced classes we're going to be talking about here in the future is I would take those things and on ChatGPT, you can create folders. Make a folder for each person that you're working with on that phone. So I like this investment property. You can make a folder for that investment property, keep all your searches to do with that investment property all together. That way, if you do additional research, it's all combined. It can pull context from that folder.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. Thank you for sharing that. All right. I want to talk about why this matters. AI won't be replacing the real estate agents. Not unless you completely let it. It's just going to remove a lot of this busy work. It's just going to make us faster. Think of when we used to have to use sticks to make fire, rub them together. And now we got flint and stuff like that. We can start a fire faster. That's the difference here. We're just going to be more experienced and we're going to have the tools to do our job faster. So I don't see it removing us. I just see it making us better at what we do. So today we're just going to practice and not actually have theory. We're not going to just talk about AI. We're actually going to put it into practice. All right. There is a couple of cases I want to show you though. So does this look familiar to any of you? I know it looks familiar to me. I used to have these things all over my car. I made this picture with AI and I could not get it to flip the side of the car. I'm like, I guess we're in Europe now. this might be brilliant to use stuff on because we drive on the other side of the road here.
That's
Very
not
long
only
way.
in English side
No,
in
that's
France.
not. I was in France. I
Yes.
saw that when I went to Portugal and stuff too. They didn't there. I know in Australia they do as well on the other side. I had sticky notes all over my car. I don't have to anymore. So I'm going to share a couple things here today of uses of AI. And the first one I'm going to share is my very favorite, just because of the fact that it's changed the way I do real estate in a way. And it also helps us when it comes to getting information into our CRMs.
Hey there, KW Command. I'm going to show you how to connect your cell phone conversations to your KW Command CRM. After every conversation using Productive.ai, I see a pop-down summary. It gives me a one-line summary after every conversation that summarizes what I spoke about. It also states that I have tasks and calendar events that are automatically logged. But here's what we're going to do first. I'm going to long press this notification. You'll see I have an option here to add it to my KW Command personal or KW Command team account. Add it to my personal. And in a single tap, a new lead, an unknown caller, quickly goes my CRM. We're going to pull up our desktop version of KW Command, refresh, contact, and search for Brenda Jackson. And there she is. We have the entire call summary logged instantly to my CRM. Her contact information, phone number, notes, tasks, the AI summary of what we spoke about, and a link to the full call recording and transcription if you choose to record and transcribe your calls with Productive.ai's customizable call recording setting. Right, if we go back to our phone here, I'm going to go into the Productive app. Basically, your iPhone or Android call icon with enhanced features. When I go in here, you'll see I have all my conversations in chronological order. I have the call from Brenda Jackson with my one-line AI summary. If I tap the play icon next to it, the full summary right here on my phone. I can long press this, and I have all these quick actions where I can actually send a text message with the summary directly to Brenda Jackson. You can even choose to share it via email, WhatsApp, whatever your native iPhone or Android sharing options are. You'll notice that we had a calendar event. We pop down notification that says something to my calendar. For coffee. It's already in my calendar. I can choose to accept or decline, but the most important thing is it's there automatic, just based on my conversation with Brent. Which you can go to kwcalls.com to activate your free trial via the Command Marketplace, and then you can download Productive.ai on your phone to set your cell phone number with productive features.
So here is how you can get it on Google Play or on the App Store. What this is AI that we developed, and this works with more than just commands. If you're not using command, you're using another app, you're more than welcome to use it. It does have a cost with it, and I'll show you that here in a second. What this does is when I'm driving around and a client calls me, I can answer that call and talk like I normally do. Instead of me having all the sticky notes all over the place, it's recording the call and it lets the client know. It almost sounds like I have an answering service. Like, hey, I'm connecting you to Ryan Yarbrough, South Florida region. And then it connects and we talk. And based upon that conversation, I need to drop off some flyers to their house and put a lockbox on the door. And I'll probably be there on Saturday at 10 a.m. It put tasks on my calendar to drop off these things. And it also puts those tasks into command and the information from the call into command. And it puts that I need to drop it off at whatever time I set on the calendar on my Google Calendar. So all that's taken care of for me. And I don't have to write a sticky note. And it's all there and accessible. That takes place. And the cost on that is they have the personal version, which is $20, the professional version, which is $29. And if you put the promo code in Ryan, then they'll drop it down to $19 a month for you. So if you want to use that, you're more than welcome to. There's no requirement to need it, but it is something that I've been using now for 2 years. I met them at Mega Camp and gave it a try. It's been amazing ever since, especially when my girlfriend says that she said something and I have to go back and look at it and say, you know what, you're right. So at least now I'm not getting in trouble as much because I can look at that stuff and see exactly what was said. All right, so move on to the next few questions on this before I move on. See chat. It does integrate with Brevity, Jared. It pretty much will integrate with pretty much any CRM. They actually And the National Association of Realtors, they ran a contest and they won their contest for most innovative product. And it's an amazing product.
What's it called again?
I was actually talking to the CEO yesterday, and he was saying that they're working on a team version too. Right now, it's individual by person, but they're working on a team version. They had a call with KWI yesterday, and they're working on getting a team version that will go across the team. I don't know the cost on that version of it, but they have that coming soon.
Awesome.
Right now for the team, it's individual person by person. All right. So moving on, when we get our photos, we either have our photographer take care of this for us, or we can go to a site I go to, which is Box Brownie, and you can pay for them to do a lot of these things, like an image enhancement to make it look less dreary is usually a couple bucks. Virtual staging's close to $25 per photo. Dusk to dawn is about $4 for my photographer to do. It's quite a bit more. If you need to do an item removal, virtual cleaning, it's $4 to $8 per photo. That can kind of get expensive and add up. I wanted to show you that if you went to Gemini and the version that KW is giving you currently, this is an actual photo I pulled from the MLS and I put it into Gemini and asked it to clean it up and get it ready for a listing. I asked it to clean up all the counters and make sure there's no artwork or anything on the floor. It did leave a knife in the back set here in the background, which I actually don't even see this photo. So you do have to be paying close attention because there was no knife set in here beginning with. But it did stage it a little bit and make it look really nice. So huge difference taking everything down, and that cost me nothing. I just threw the photo in there and asked it to remove the things. So it did an amazing job there. Another example is took another photo over here in Safety Harbor on the MLS, put it in there and asked it to do a dusk to dawn, adding light into the photo around the garage and then the walkway, and it did an amazing job. It took it less than a minute to do that. So those are options that you could be using in the real estate world. Any questions on this and how to use this? Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, very. On the dusk to dawn, do you think you have to disclose?
You should have anyways. If you're using it,
Yeah.
it's not a real dusk to dawn. If they're AI enhancing it, I would say it's
Right.
been AI enhanced and use that button. But regardless, we're not changing anything in the photo other than the time of day. All right, moving on. So I want to go back to the rice.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
On the last Gemini thing, and my boyfriend's got some rental properties. We're cleaning up. He went in and took pictures. It was scary. And it literally got rid of all the crap out of the rooms.
Yeah.
It was one thing that it didn't do well. And I guess
Okay.
it makes sense. They had put little sheets over the windows. If you disappear the sheets, it doesn't know what kind of a window's behind it. So just
Right.
be aware.
Yeah, that too. And I've used this in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT does have similar results. However, sometimes I found that it will hallucinate and put some things in there. I noticed something else here too. There's a wall going right here where all this stuff is. If you notice, it almost looks like there's a pass through instead on this side. I also noticed like one of the tricks I found when using Gemini is sometimes it's easier if you ask it to remove everything in the room. If you're trying to stage it, it's easier to ask it to remove everything in the room and then stage it than it is to just try to stage it straight from the beginning. I had an example where I found a property I was interested in purchasing as an investment property. It needed a lot of work. And I wanted to be able to visualize what that was going to look like if I got done with it. So I had to have all the stuff that was in that room, all that junk taken out first. And then I had to paint the walls. And I just told this to Gemini. I just talked to it like I'd be talking to you. I just told it, hey, I want you to paint these walls all the same color and finish off the room. And it did it. Then I would add furniture afterwards. But if you tried to add all the furniture in before all the junk's taken out, it didn't seem to work as well. So just some suggestions right there when it comes to staging your room if you're going to be using it for any type of staging. A little bit of hallucinating going on every once in a while, but again, just talk to it and let it know. Sometimes I will actually go out of it. I'll take the picture in the mode they gave me and I'll leave that chat and go back into a new chat and start over because I feel like that chat gets a little bit hung up. It's like talking to a stubborn person that doesn't want to change the way they do things. Just go to a new chat and start over. These are a few examples I wanted to show you. Are easy to use. You don't have to use the rice method as much. You can kind of just throw it in there In Gemini, they call it Nano Banana. It's their most advanced model yet. And you can throw the photos in there and talk to it normal. But when it comes to a lot of these other prompts, it does work a lot better if you're using what we call the RICE method. So here's a reminder of what the RICE method is. Its role, who should the AI be, how they should be acting, instructions, what do you want the AI to do, context, give it details the AI needs or should leave out. I think the leave out part's very, very important that a lot of people will forget. And I know Pat was saying that she had to go back and she forgot some things. And maybe there's some things that added that she doesn't maybe necessarily want to put in there. So you got to remember to do that and sometimes refine it later on. Giving an example of some type of output helps keep it in the style that you want. We're going to do some practice here. I'm going to give you this script and I want you all to use whatever AI of your choice there is. I want you to go ahead and follow this and put this in there. Let me see if I can get this. I'm going to put this in the chat here. You can copy and paste it into your AI and see what results you get. Once you do this, I'm going to move to this next screen. Please do not do anything with it. Just look at the list that you get. While we're going on to the next section, I'll be looking through these pieces. At the end, I want to do this RICE script with it, create it yourself. But I want you to be thinking which one do you actually want and which one could be the most beneficial to you. I'm going to give you guys a minute here to do that.
Hi, Ryan. Sorry to interrupt everybody's train of thought, but I'm a little lost. What do you mean pick one from your list? What list?
If you go to the chat, I put in a script. I want you to copy that.
got
I
it.
want you to put that into your AI.
Okay, thanks.
No worries. You can copy and paste. If you just want to go ahead and put this in, you can type it in as well. Does anybody need any extra time? Okay, I'll give you another minute. Are you guys all good now? Sarah, do you guys have enough in there? Sarah's got a whole group of people in a classroom, so they don't have the ability to copy and paste. That's why she was asking that.
We're good, Ryan. Thank you.
All righty, we're going to move on then. Once you put that into ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever else you might be using, it should give you a whole list. Just use the RICE method and make it easy on you. And we're just going to progress through that list here soon. We're going to do a couple here, and there might be one of the ones you picked. We'll see. But I want you to hold on to what you got until the end and write your own prompt at the end. I'm going to practice with you at the beginning here. So the first one we're going to do is email to a first-time home buyer. I'm going to give you this one. And I want you to go ahead and I want you to put this in. I'm going to keep this up on the screen for those of you who cannot copy and paste. It's a pretty simple prompt. Try to make it short and sweet. But I want you to copy, if you can, put this one in and try this one and see what you come up with. I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes on this one to copy and paste it and go through and look at it. And then I'm going to ask for some people to share what their results were. So we'll go ahead and...
You want us to paste in the same chat or a new one?
I just pasted the email to a first-time home buyer. I want you to go ahead and copy that one, put it into your, like if you're using Gemini, throw that into Gemini and see what Gemini brings up. And if you need to make any changes, please use the method. It's going to be 20%, 60%, 20%. Make any refinements you need, and then we'll come back and we'll just take a couple of ahas. So go ahead now. Let's do 2 minutes. All right. From that prompt, I want you to hopefully you got something from it, and then ask clarifying questions if there's anything that didn't make sense. Ask it to give you 3 options, not just one. Try that and see which one's the best. You could also critique the answer, tell it you don't like this or don't like that. So take a minute and do that and see what you get from that result. We'll take 1 minute again. All right. Ready for some ahas? Who wants to go first? Who wants to share what they got? Hey, Valentina, you want to go first? Thank you. Just go ahead and share. I hear you, Valentina.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I used ChatGPT and it came up with, let's talk about interest rates. It was a short and good email. It says, hi, I completely understand how stressful the headlines about rising interest rates can feel. And it says that we can walk you through the options step by step. Remember, there are always strategies we can use to make buying your first home more affordable or less overwhelming would you like me to show a few finances and scenarios so you can see how things could look in today's market? I told him, please give me 3 different options, and it gave me options. It's really nice to have this tool.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Jessica Harris, did you get anything out of it you want to share?
Sure. I obviously have 3 different options, but the first one I got was stating, it was great to chat with you today. I understand your concerns about interest rates. It's a big topic right now, and it's completely normal to feel a little uneasy. Please don't let the current headlines discourage you. We have a lot of great strategies to explore, and the most important thing is finding a home you love. The right property will feel right, and we can tackle the financing details together with a plan that works for you. My advice is to stay focused on the homes we're seeing and let the momentum going. Some of these are messed up. I'm going to guide you every step of the way and answer any questions you have.
From your experience as an agent, do these look like something you would send or something that you would be okay with sending maybe after tweaking a little bit?
Yeah, I think a quick tweak and it would be sendable.
So that definitely comes down to you. It says you do 20%, let it do 60%, or you come back and assist with the rest. Thank you for sharing. You said you did 3. Which one do you like the most? The first, second, or third one I gave you?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't have enough time to read through all of them.
Do you feel like the part where did you go back and personalize it from the first couple classes like we did? Do you feel like any of that's showing through?
So I missed the first classes because I was in Capra University, the first 2 classes.
Okay. If you go back and do the personalization, you should start seeing that showing up in some of this.
Okay, awesome.
That's what I was kind of looking for here.
Okay.
David, you can put your hand up. Thank you.
Just to piggyback that, I was going to comment that, especially with ChatGPT, the more it gets to know you as a person, your sense of humor, your sense of professionalism, I mean, if you're a casual person, the better these emails get because it recognizes that it's you and it starts forming them in your type of voice.
Thanks for sharing. How did yours come out?
Mine are always fun and casual and engaging because that's the way I am. And that's only because I spent a little bit of time personalizing my AI.
Which is why we did the class the way we did it, to try and build up to this so that these would show up and be you. That's why when you put this in, not one person here should have the same email. Everybody should have different emails. That's why this works. Not only should be different just because of the fact that it's using you as the basis for that.
Going back and telling it to refine things, it didn't say anything about the fact you could refine. And so that got folded into all of my subsequent letters way better.
I would not ever take what it first gives you. I would always refine it in some way, even if you're just challenging it and asking, is there anything I'm missing? Or is there anything that you're missing that you think might be added to it? You'll be amazed at how much more it'll bring to the table. Okay. Thank you for participating. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to practice here. Again, this is going to be a social media post one. I will put this in the chat. And those of you who don't have the chat, I will leave this up for you to copy. You can copy and paste that and we'll see what comes of this. I'll put up 4 minutes. Let's go ahead and get to it. About 30 more seconds. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you go ahead and do your prompt power-ups, ask it a question. Right. I'm interested on this one. It's going to be fun because I gave you guys the ability to choose your own adventure here and pick which one you wanted to do and how it's going to come out. So who would like to be the first to share what they've got out of it? Ashley, were you able to pull anything out?
No, I wasn't able to in the time frame.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan, I'll jump on this one.
Thanks, Mark.
No worries. So I did a client testimonials for the social media post and it said new keys, happy clients, so excited for client name on the purchase of their first home. It was a journey of finding the perfect place and their excitement on closing day made it all worth it. And then in parentheses, it said we couldn't have done it without Mark. He made a confusing process feel easy. And then said, ready for your own success story, send me a DM, and then it had a bunch of hashtags.
Very nice. Do you feel like that would make it a lot easier for you to post?
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything in there you feel personalized?
I personalized a different AI. I'm using Gemini right now. I haven't gone into Gemini. I personalized the one on my phone, not on here, which I got to do.
Honestly, I use several of them. So if I was you, I would, depending on if you're going to do that, just depends on what it is. For example, all these photos I got in here, I got from Gemini. Gemini just tends to do a better job when it comes to the photos. Even like I was teaching Canva last week, and Canva's got its own AI that generates photos as well, but they tend to be not nearly as crisp and sharp. ChatGPT does a better job than Canva does when it comes to creating the pictures. But these photos here are all done with Gemini. Now, I did notice on some of them, like I had a lady who had a tablet and her hand was off to the side and looked very awkward. I let Gemini know and it fixed it for me. Photo editing in there is great. And then when it comes down to putting it in there, that's better. So having it for certain things like photos or maybe just getting something written up, you might want to use different ones for different things. Claude does a great job when it comes to creating flyers and stuff like that. So if you're using that, you might want to personalize that one. So that's just my suggestion. If you've personalized one, I'd probably personalize a couple others if you're going to use them regularly. Anybody else have any luck with this one that want to share? How about Pamela? Did you come up with anything? Gary, did you come up with anything you want to share?
I jump in, Ryan.
Thank you,
I
Steph.
just sold in Lighthouse Point. Another family found their dream waterfront home. In today's market, presentation plus strategy equal results. Thinking of selling, let's talk about how we can make your property the next success story. Hashtag just sold, hashtag South Florida real estate.
So you happy with it?
It is, do you know what it is to use that for a foreigner? You know how long it took me to do just the description of a property the last 30 years and with the proper grammar and spelling? For us in Southeast Florida, South Florida, where there is a lot of foreigners, it's insane. It can change the life of many of our agents.
Now you can ask it to translate it too.
Yeah, exactly. And it does it well.
Ryan,
Yes, ma'am.
I did a testimonial, and it's interesting because in the previous exercise, I asked 3 different options, so it remembered, and here it gave me like 3 different options. So
Awesome. That's great. So it's consistent. Good deal. All right, we'll move on to the other one for time. We got this last one we're going to practice, and then we're going to go to your own. All right, so here's a fun one. How many of you guys love doing videos? I know I love doing videos, so love you to take this one. I'm going to let you guys go along. Here's the example. If you want to completely copy what I have, go for it, but use this as an example and type in your own. Anybody who's good at video, I highly suggest that you use videos in your business because it converts a lot higher than any other source. People get to know you a little bit better. I'm a big Bucks fan. Several years ago, they didn't do very much in media. All of a sudden, they started doing media and it changed the whole game. You get to know these players, the people around so much better than you care about them. So the same thing with you. If people get to know you and who you are, they're more likely to work with you because it's know, like, and trust, right? So here's a way for you to get them to know, like, and trust you ahead of time is using video, creating some videos, sticking with your consistency. And this AI will help you with that because I can't think of 200 video topics that I'm going to do, but it can. So it'll come up with the topics and then it'll also help you put together the video itself. So go ahead and use the Rice method to come up with a video for this one. If you don't want to do the 3 things you must know before selling your home today, try something else. Please be prepared to share in the next section for I'll give you 4 minutes on this one and then we'll get ready to share. Hey guys, I'm not going to paste it into the chat because I want you to kind of do it on your own. Come up with a video, have it help you come up with a video script. So just put the role, instructions, context, and example. In the kind of purpose, each one we've progressively gotten away from me giving it to you doing more and more of it.
Here, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
There is a challenge that maybe people don't know. When you try to write and go to the next line, when you press enter, it sends a message.
Yes.
So you need to do the shift enter to stay within the same.
Yeah. You know what I do is I just use Google Docs so that I can type it out there first. So a lot of times when I'm writing something long like that, and then I'll copy and paste it in there. You can use shift and return.
Wondering why when you put it in the chat, we can copy paste.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Whoa, I'm going to learn how to control this. So hopefully you use your power-ups. Remember to ask clarifying questions. I said you get 3 options, not 1, and critique your own answer. Like Valentino was saying, if you are doing this in the same chat, it'll probably continue to give you the same options. Okay, so let's go to some ahas. Anybody want to share what they got? Obviously, you got a video script, but tell me what you thought of it. What did you learn from it? John Q, did you get anything you want to share? You're muted, sir, if you're sharing.
I am sorry about that. Yeah. So thank you. I have a prompt. I copied the first one, professional real estate video scriptwriter, specialized in YouTube content. And my topic is top 10 reasons to live in Tampa, Florida. The hook that I got is, thinking about making a move. Tampa, Florida might just be the hidden gem you've been looking for. I'm sharing the top 10 reasons people are living in Tampa and why it could be the perfect place for you. Tampa.
There you go.
So,
Pretty
yeah,
easy to follow. Does it feel like it would be something you would actually say, or does it feel kind of different?
of course, yeah. It's specific, it's quick, generated.
Okay, good.
Like,
That's kind of the point. We spent that time
sorry.
early on doing those things so that by the time we got to now, it should be more like you.
Yeah.
It should be learning
Right.
from you. And the more you do, the more it's going to sound like you. As you keep on doing more and more of these prompts, it starts learning from you and it'll keep on adding. Thank you, John, for sharing. Did you reprompt it for anything?
I tried. I did, but for some reason it's still generating. So it's not done yet. So I don't know if it's like that.
No problem. Anybody else? Marlene, did you get anything you want to share?
Either YouTube script or video.
Did you get a good script?
Just at this time and how to prepare, for example.
Anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, I'm dabbling in it, and I just did a YouTube video, and it helped me. I just plugged in the local area, or Key West local market, and it really came up with some interesting presentations, marketing, shifting, call to action. So things that really helped me. And then I'm tweaking it now. So I'm just playing with it.
Nice. There's definitely some areas there that would be fun to go do some videos on.
Hey, Ryan, I actually worked on this the other day because I was doing some videos using Keeping Current Matters. And
Nice.
John, my market leader, said instead of using what they present, use AI and come up with something that I'm more into. And I started doing them on investment properties. What was cool about it is when I did it, I told it to also generate images that I can put in as a slide. And it did that as well. Now it's a more personalized video than what Keeping Current Matters.
If it's something you're interested in, you're going to have a lot more energy showing through. If it's not something you're interested in, it's going to show in your video.
And that's why he wanted me to touch on something and use this.
Yeah.
It's a neat tool.
So you said you were using Gemini now, but you use something else. What do you normally use?
Like on my phone, I have ChatGPT, I have Perplexity, Chat Narrow, and Chat AI.
Okay.
So
Got quite a few of them that you're playing with. Is there, which one did you use to create that script for your?
I'm using Gemini more, but I had some technical issues. I had to reset everything and lost some stuff. My computer melted down on me. And then, like I told you before, I use that prompt cowboy. So it takes a lazy prompt and makes it more detailed and then questions it. And I'm able to really get a good prompt. And a lot of times it takes very little tweaking by going that route.
Right. Once all of you start getting good at this, which is the whole point of us doing 3 of these already, is to get you better. And I've kind of tried to wean you off of it is so you can get better at the prompting. Because as you get better at that, you're not going to have to reprompt it as much. I always would suggest still do it anyways and challenge it, but you'll have to do less of it. You'll get better and better. I know Pam, it's like I didn't even pay her at the beginning to come on and say what she said, but she came on and gave a really good example of the fact that she put some in, she got really good results, but she could have got better and she recognized that. So she just kept on prompting it more and more to try and get it to where it wants. She was very detailed and that's good. And after you start putting it in and you put in there like, oh, it's missing this and missing that. And you should have added that. And that's fine. You can just keep on having a conversation because again, going back to a couple classes ago, like I said, if you have an intern that's sitting right next to you, you're teaching, it's probably the same thing you're going to do. You know, but, oh, and by the way, there's this idea and there's that I need. So it's fine. You just keep on doing it that way. The nice thing about it is this intern usually remembers things and doesn't ask you 10 more times, about it. So there's that we got going for us. All right, good job, guys. Now, what I want you to do is, before we end this class, I'd like you to go ahead and take the prompt that we talked about at the beginning, and I want you to do it all by yourself. I want you to write and go ahead and fill out the prompt. I'd like to get at least 3 shares, and then we'll be closing out for the day. So again, all of you got to choose at the beginning. You made a list of like 100 different things that you could choose from. Choose your own and do the whole rights method on your own. Let's share. I'll give you guys another 4 minutes for that one, and then we'll share, and then we'll do it quickly and get out of here. All righty, guys. Very curious to see what you guys created. Who would like to share first? Mr. Robert Klein, were you able to create anything?
No, my ChatGPT says that I am no longer
run out of chats.
Yeah, I ran out of chats. The limit resets after 4:28 p.m.
If that happens to you, you can always use Gemini too. Gemini won't do that to you because you get that for free.
And I haven't used Gemini before, so I don't know how to get there
Very
yet.
similar. Very similar. If you go to gemini.google.com, they're giving it to you for free currently. You'll have some really good results, especially when it comes to photo editing and doing some personal writing. I do suggest it if you're planning on using AI. ChatGPT is good, and I would suggest anybody who's not, that would be worth the $20 for sure. Anybody else? Pat, what were you able to create?
So I gave all my rule and all of that stuff verbally, so I didn't have to type it all up. I did some miles and stutters. Then I saw what it typed from what I said. So then I fixed that. But as I did it, I realized I didn't give enough information. What I wanted to do was talking about why, with an email to prospective buyers, why this is a good strategy to buy any keys now and to get off the fence. I did a good job, but it needs a lot of cleanup. And a lot of that came from me, not giving enough information.
Absolutely. Otherwise, it's just going to make up what it wants. Anybody else? Robin, you want to share?
Well, I'm a bit behind the 8 ball here, catching up, playing catch up. I've had a lot of technology issues, but I'm pleased to see with just the smaller bit that I have been able to input that it's picked up on interesting things, particularly in the Keys about hurricane season and festivals. And, you know, if you list too prematurely, you can be having more days on the market. I specialize in the Key West Golf Club, so it's remembered that I've been here since the beginning. I'm excited. I'm going to sit down with our team leader on Thursday to help me catch up, but you've been wonderful. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm going to have to come visit you guys down there. Miss
Oh,
you guys.
yeah.
Down there. All right. Anybody else? John, you want to share? What'd you get? Looks like it's pretty good.
Sure. I use ChatGPT just like other realtors are intending to use it, create public description. So what
Yeah.
I did is I just used the rice method, pretend that they're a real estate agent based in Tampa Bay, look into this property online, draft me a public description that I can use once I activate this on the MLS, focus on recent updates and upgrades, make sure that the input you give are facts and not something that you just came up with. So I gave it a command like that. And
Very
yeah,
nice.
this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Something that we could use. Yeah. So welcome home to this address, built in 2023, move-in ready. Yeah. So this is good.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Some of the things that you can add to this, just as like quick tips at the end here, is you can ask it to also include certain people or certain writing. Atomic Habits is one of my favorite books. It's really good when it comes to talking about marketing. If you could use the theories from Atomic Habits, which means it's going to talk about emotions, because very similar to what Bold teaches us. Bold teaches us that logic makes you think and emotions make you act. You're going to get a lot more from that. But creating these ads, if you can get more emotion out of it to get them to act, but also provide enough information to make them logically think about it as well, it'll work better. So same thing when it comes to your listing descriptions. You can get a lot of logic and emotion out of that. Another tip on that is a lot of these now have the ability to be multimodal. Multimodal means that it's using more than just what you're giving it. So you're giving it a text prompt right now, except for Pat, she went to voice and used her voice. She went a little bit more multimodal, but you can go beyond that and take the photos from your listing and throw those in there. Or you can take a document that you might already have and throw that in there. And you go even a step further on your mobile phone, and you can actually turn the video on and let it walk around the property with you and have it observe the property. And then from that observation, it can describe the property for you. You can give it some context. Tell it that you're touring a property and you're a marketing genius. You're going to use methods from Atomic Habits to give plenty of information about the property, but also create a lot of motion around this property that's going to make somebody want to. So it's going to be talking about how amazing this property is and how you can see your kids running around in the kitchen and stuff like that. It's going to pull out emotion and create memories. But it's amazing what you can do. I actually did that as a test before I was doing this class, and I thought about throwing that into this class. I went around our office and did it and said, this is a commercial building. Tell me about it. It did a great job of describing the whole area. It gives you the text output from it that you can copy and go ahead and put in there. So there's another option for you. Wanted to just go real quickly over what today we went over. We went over how to write the RISE prompt, which we had discussed before, but we went into more detail today. We created a listing, email, post with AI, and save time without losing my voice because you guys helped do a lot of the work. So I appreciate you guys participating. Here's your homework. Create a RISE prompt for your real estate business this week. Use this in your business. Get used to using it. Here, do me a favor, put it on your calendar, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Using it for an email, using it for writing your listing. Hopefully you all are taking a listing a day. If you are, use it for your listings and put it on there, but put it somewhere on your calendar to remind you. Use AI today in some way or some other and use this prompt and get good at it. The more you practice it, the better you'll get it to where you're not even thinking about it. You're just automatically putting this in here. All right. We will be coming back next week and finishing up this first AI playbook. This is the 101 session. And so next week, it says September 30th on here. It's actually next week. When I originally planned this, I thought the luxury symposium was during that time where we were going to take a break, but the luxury symposium's not until October. So we will be flying in September. This will not be the 30th. It'll be next week, the day after the first day of fall. That's when we're going to be doing this, Tuesday next week. So welcome fall. Anybody have any questions before we take off? Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming, and we will see you guys next week. Can't wait to hear some of the things that you create in the next week. Bye.
Thank you.